Hello. I'm sorry to interrupt the flow of things here, but I'd like to announce my candidacy for the presidency of the United States of America. I know I've come into this a little late. Oh, is that the time? That was just a little joke. I only decided to run this morning. You see, I've always wanted to be president, and my friend Milburn said that it would be a fun thing for me to do, so he's going to be my running mate. I could crack another joke there, but I can't think of one. Anyway, when he first suggested I should run, I said, that's a very interesting suggestion, Milburn, but perhaps to be ruled out on the grounds of my stupidity, which is considerable. I really have no brains at all. It's amazing. But Milburn says that someone ought to do something, because he can't understand how we can look round our nation of 500 million clever people and decide that only Jimmy Carter or Ronald Reygan could possibly lead us. He thinks that's amazing. Not that I'm going to be abusing those other candidates. I respect them both and look forward to meeting them in the near future, and perhaps even getting their autographs. I feel we have a lot in common. Our simple-mindedness will be an especially powerful bond. But mine over in England, Milburn says that one of their parties is choosing a new leader, and apparently their candidates are just awful. It seems to be the same everywhere. They've all got this hair problem, you know. That just doesn't seem to be the choice these days. Anyway, my name's Richard Head. Hello. And my motto is vote for Dick Head, so you don't get a Dick Head for president. Now you may ask, what am I going to do when I move into the White House? What are you going to do when you move into the White House? I thought I'd paint it pink. Because pink is a very friendly color, and then it will be the pink house, which is far less liable to racist interpretation than the White House. So, think pink is another one of my slogans. You may also wonder who will be the first lady when I'm elected. Well, I intend to take the name literally. So the first lady to ring this number can be the first lady for the duration. Frankly, I'm not all that fussy, and that's another one of my slogans. Dick Head's not all that fussy about his... Actually, I think I'll withdraw that one, sorry. I'll withdraw that one. And instead I have Dick Head like slogans. Do you like Dick Head? Well, I hope you do. Vote for me, I'm cute.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the press conference. The next President of the United States is here to make himself available to answer any questions which you may care to put to him. Within reason, of course. Mr. President. Okay, right, fire away. Mr. Wiley there.
Yeah, Mr. President, what do you intend as your first move now that the election is over?
I think perhaps the President should be allowed to answer that in his own good time. There's no point jumping the gun, though, is there? Miss Deepwell.
Mr. President, do you think you can crack the energy problem?
Well, I'm afraid the President is not willing to answer that question at the present time.
On the contrary, I am more than willing to answer the question.
Oh, I'm sorry. I got that wrong. The President is willing to answer that question. Next question, please. Mr. Cambridge.
Yes, sir. There have been rumors that...
there's no reason for the President to stoop to answering that kind of cheap abuse now, is there?
I'm sorry, what rumors...
Look, shut up, please. We can't hear the President speak. Next question, please. Miss Deepwell, you've got another one there.
This one's for the President.
Aren't we all?
Very well, sir. How do you feel about your victory?
Well, it's no big deal, is it really? One guy wins, the other schmuck loses. Who gives a damn, for Christ's sake? Next question.
What about energy?
He's got lots of it. Don't be so dumb insulting, you.
Gentlemen, please, excuse me. I feel
Look, excuse me, sir. It will be altogether more orthodox if you only answer direct questions instead of butting in like some simple-minded horse whenever it pleases you. I'm going to hold a press conference here.
I am perfectly capable of answering any question that may be asked of me.
Oh, fair enough. Okay, the 40th President of the United States awaits your questions, ladies and gentlemen. Fire away. The President of the United States of America, Mr. Big here, is ready to answer you any question with incisive wit and drive that you may care to put to his massive presidential brain. All yours, sir.
Right, very well. Mr. Tucker, you asked me about my feelings on racial relations.
Yes, sir.
And the President replies, mind your own goddamn business, Tucker.
Please. My feelings on race relations
Are entirely immaterial.
are that for the past 200 years, the American people have conjoined
With each other.
In a great quest for
Harmony.
harmony,
Democracy.
democracy,
Freedom.
cupcakes,
Crumbly candy bars.
That's incredible, isn't it?
It's incredible, isn't it?
That a cretin such as
That a cretin such as this
should become president of the United
should become president of the United States.
I'd like to ask you a few questions.
Yes.
Did anyone see you entering your house?
No?
Milord, there's one thing very vital lacking from Mrs. Pinterman's account so far, and that is the alibi. The alibi is what we're looking for. So where is the alibi?
What is the alibi?
Yes, Mr. Davis, perhaps you'd like to explain to the court the precise meaning of this word.
An alibi, my lord, is defined as being a plea that when an act took place, one was elsewhere.
Oh, an alibi.
Is that what you mean, Mr. Davis?
My lord, are we going to let phonetic discrepancies deter us from the facts? The facts are no one saw Mrs. Pinterman entering her house, and ultimately she has no alibi.
She has no alibi.
Ah, even my learned counsel for the defense admits it. His client is guilty.
What are you talking about?
Gwilt! Even her very identity is in doubt. Mrs. Pinterman, have you or have you not in the past gone under an alias? What? Have you used an alias, my lad? The question is crucial.
But we don't understand the question, Mr. Davis. What is an alias?
An alias? An alias? I can scarcely believe my ears. It's a common enough legal term.
I've never heard of it.
Well, I'll refer you to any number of standard reference works. Goldsmith, Armitage, and Berlin, Teach Yourself Law, Book 4. The Open University Criminology Course, Part 1. The Perry Mason Book for Boys, 1962. An alias is defined as the assumption of an alternative identity for nefarious purposes.
Nefarious purposes?
Precisely, my lord. We have heard it all end that this woman visited her spoliums on that fatal night.
Fatal night.
And her whole testimony is little more than a tissue of lies.
A tissue.
Yes, my lord.
Quiet! This case has been one of the most difficult and embarrassing of my long career. You are an evil and malicious young trollop who has willfully committed an evil crime, and yet you have come to this court and without any consideration forced this unfortunate young man to behave like a cross between a human vegetable and Ronnie Barker. You are someone who wantonly thrusts herself upon men for sexual fantasy wherever you may find them. Perhaps you'd like to join me for lunch.
It takes the morning train. He works from 9 till 5 again. It takes another home again to find me waiting here. We go out every evening, and it's
Look, do you mind?
Would you mind? Anything I want, he takes me to a
I've had a hard day. I'm very tired.
Now baby takes the morning train.
I don't. I've been taking the bus for 15 years.
Now baby takes the morning bus. He works.
Look, I don't work from 9 to bloody 5. I didn't today anyway. No, I spent all day with a whore.
Baby takes the morning bus. He spends all day with a whore again. He takes another home again and tries to strangle me.
And you lot, shove off. And you.
Morning, sir. Could I have that cash, please? Certainly, sir. Oh, Mr. Brent.
That's me, I'm Alan Brent, yes.
Could you hold on just a moment, sir? Yes, Mr. Brent, we're very glad you've come in. We've been trying to get hold of you all day.
Really?
I'm afraid I've got some very bad news.
Oh?
Yes, I'm afraid we had a break-in last night.
Well, that is bad news,
Yes, it's even worse news for you, I'm afraid.
Why?
Well, the thieves stole your box.
My what?
Your box. You know, the little cardboard shoebox that we keep your money in.
I'm sorry, I don't think I follow you.
Well, you know, when you make a deposit, we put it in a little box. And we write your name on it. And then we put it out the back under a big bed we have out there.
Did you have a safe?
No. No, we're only a small branch, you see, so we're saving up for one.
So you can't cash this cheque, then?
No. I'm sorry.
They just stole my money, then?
No, they stole Kathy's pen as well, didn't they,
Like new
Kathy?
paper mate.
Oh, I'm sorry, Kate. It seems a shame, really. I had £3,000 in my, box.
Yes, actually, we at the bank here do feel very sorry for you, Mr. Brent. And if it's any consolation, we had a whip round.
Oh, you shouldn't have, really.
No, well...
Very nice of you.
We would very much like you to take it, if you would.
Oh.
There we are.
There's £8.50 there.
There we are, Mr. Brent.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Of course, you could open another account with that, of course. I think I may have a little box down here somewhere that I can put it. It'll be quite safe this time, because we've had a lock put on the back door, you see, so thieves won't be able to hit...
I'll take it with me, because I have to buy some food for my wife and children.
Yes, of course. Mr. Brent. I'm sorry, it's a joke.
Oh, no!
You're pulling your leg! I don't know how I kept a straight face, a box with your name on it, and the thieves came and they took only your box.
I really fell for it, didn't I?
Of course they didn't steal your box. Here it is.
Bravo, my dear. Exquisite, enchanting.
Thank you, Papa.
Play some more, child.
I must speak first. Mr. Hobhouse is coming to pay a visit.
Mr. Hobhouse?
Yes, Father.
Mr. Hobhouse knows he is not welcome here.
Father, I am so distressed at the enmity between you and Mr. Hobhouse.
Has Mr. Hobhouse been making addresses to you?
Addresses, Papa?
Has he been paying court to you?
Court, Papa?
Has he been forcing his attentions upon you, pressing his suit?
Mr. Hobhouse and I are in love, Papa.
Ring for Ben, Flora. I wish to tell him that we are not at home to Mr. Hobhouse.
Oh, but Papa...
Do as I say, child, or by heaven, I'll ask you again.
You are so stiff, so unbending.
Yeah. Ben, If a Mr. Hobhouse should call, we are not at home to him.
All right.
Oh, and Ben.
What?
Ask Mrs. Ben to bring up the tea things in a few hours, please.
You got it, mate. Oh, and by the way, there's a Mr. Hobhouse for you.
Show him in, please. Strange. I'm sure I've heard that name before somewhere.
Father, you will be polite to him, won't you?
Of course, my dear. Mr. Hobhouse is a guest. I shall naturally observe the normal decencies of ordinary, everyday intercourse.
Intercourse?
Hobhouse, for you!
Mr. Hobhouse!
Miss Surname. Sir, Anton Hobhouse, yours to command.
Sir William Surname, honoured.
But of course, sir, I recognised you immediately from Flora's description of you. She's often talked of your stiffness.
I may as well tell you, sir, that before you came into this room, I had quite set my face against you.
Oh, but Papa!
Hush, child, let me finish. My daughter has spoken of you often.
Father, is he not all I told you he would be? Is he not fine and handsome and smooth and shiny?
Yes, quiet, child.
Yeah, go on, shush.
I must say, Flora, that your description of him by no means does him justice. He appears to be all that must please. I don't think I've ever seen so fine a head. Turn around, sir, that I might have a better look at you. Not bad. You have a noble thigh, sir. And I'll warrant you've wrestled in your time. You have a wrestler's hips.
Thank you, sir. They were my mother's.
I must congratulate you, sir, upon fine lineaments.
Sir, may I come to the business in hand?
By all means, sir.
Sir, I have come here, with your daughter's permission, to ask you, to beg you, for your hand in marriage.
I'm sure you got that quite right.
Sir, ever since I heard from Flora that she had a father, you have exerted a strange fascination over me. When she told me how gruff you were, how firm, how masterful, how stiff, I confess that even before meeting you, I fancied myself to be quite head over heels in love with you.
Heels? Head? Anton, what are you saying?
It's true, it's true. Oh, Sir William, if you do not vouchsafe me one word of hope, one syllable of encouragement, one indication that your sentiments towards me can never ripen beyond friendship into something nobler, something higher, something moister, I swear I shall shoot myself.
Flora, leave the room.
But, Papa...
Leave the room, Flora! Mr. Hobhouse, that was a very pretty speech.
You are a very pretty man, Sir William.
Oh, don't pretend with me, sir. You don't find me attractive.
Sir, I swear!
Oh, yes, you swear. You swear now, but what of the future? I'm an old man. My smooth flanks will soon be dry and flaking.
Papa! Mr. Hobhouse, I cannot believe my ears.
They do rather stick out, don't they?
It's her nose that baffles me. Ring for Ben, Anton. I think this calls for champagne. Ah, Ben. Ask Mrs. Ben to bring out the tea things now, please. Miss Flora and I are...
All right.
Oh, she's asleep. Flora!
Oh, Anton, Papa, you mustn't...
Oh, my dear, you've been asleep.
Oh, why, Papa, I had the strangest dream. I dreamt that you and Anton and... Oh, flanks and moisture and... Oh, torrid.
My dear, you've only been dreaming. You must bestir yourself, for Mr. Hobhouse is to call at any moment.
Why, of course.
Mr. Hobhouse! My darling!
My darling.
My darling!
Oh.
Well, that was an excerpt from the controversial and some would say scurrilous new British picture, The General Synod's Life of Christ. The film deals with the rise to fame and greatness of a humble carpenter's son named Jesus Christ. But many people have seen in the film a thinly disguised and blasphemous attack on the life of Monty Python. Python worshippers claim the film sets out to ridicule by parody the actual members of Monty Python. Men who, even today, are worshipped and revered throughout the Western world. Now, Alexander Walker, what did you think of the picture?
Well, I was appalled. I mean, I actually find it deeply offensive that in a country that is still ostensibly a python-worshipping country, that a 14-year-old child can actually get in to see this film. I mean, there is little enough proper python around these days without parading this distorted garbage about.
Bishop, you directed the film. Did you expect this kind of reaction?
Well, I certainly didn't expect the Spanish Inquisition. Yes, I did direct the film, and I feel as though I must emphasize at this stage that it is not about python.
Oh, come on.
I'm not a pythonist. I'm not a pythonist myself, but obviously I have a tremendous amount of respect for people like Alexander, who are...
Oh, come now. Now, come now, Bishop. I mean, the leading figure in this film, what is it? Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, it's quite clearly a lampoon of the comic messiah himself, our Lord John Cleese. I mean, well, come on, I mean, even the initials, JC, are exactly the same.
I must explain. I must explain to you, the Christ figure is not Cleese.
Oh, come on.
No, he's just an ordinary man who happens to have been born in Weston-super-Mare at the same time as Mr. Cleese.
Jonathan, you know as well as I
he
do.
Is mistaken, he is mistaken for the comic messiah himself by vast crowds of people who follow him about, doing silly walks, shouting, no, not the comfy chair, and other slogans from the good box.
No, I'm sorry, Jonathan, whatever you say, this film is a highly distasteful one. I mean, have people forgotten how Monty Python suffered for us?
I know.
How often the sketches failed? I mean, these men died for us, frequently.
I mean, if Python is immortal, as Pythonists believe, then I can't believe that a mere film,
a 10th rate film,
could put them off. I mean, in the words of John Cleese, whenever two or three are gathered together in one place, then they shall perform the parrot sketch.
It is an ex-parrot.
It has ceased to be.
Indeed. Well, Alexander Walker, the final scene of the picture has attracted the most attention.
Right, well, now here, I think we have the ultimate blasphemy. I mean, it is set in a hotel in Torquay, where literally hundreds of Spanish waiters are being clipped about the ear by this Jesus Christ bloke. It is obviously a lampoon of the comic messiah's greatest half hour.
It's not at all. The point, it's Torbay.
Thank you both very much
Torbay,
indeed.
Torquay, I mean,
Bishop,
we're quibbling.
Alexander Walker, thank you very much indeed.